Ready, set, go.
Ready now? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to this Day of the Dead celebration. El Día de los Muertos originated in Mexico, although it is marked throughout Latin America. This celebration blends Mesoamerican ritual, European religion, and Mexican culture, and is celebrated from October 31st to November 2nd, right around Halloween and the Catholic feast day called All Saints and All Souls.
Ancient Mesoamericans believed that when a person died, he or she would travel to the land of the dead. But only after getting through 9 challenging levels could the person's soul finally reach their final resting place. Family members would honor the dead by providing food, water, and tools to aid the deceased in this difficult journey. This inspired the contemporary Day of the Dead practice, in which people leave food or other offerings on their loved ones' graves, or set them out on makeshift altars called ofrendas in their homes.
In medieval Spain, people would bring wine and bread to the graves of their loved ones on All Souls' Day. They would cover graves with flowers and light candles to illuminate the dead souls' way back to their homes on earth. In the 16th century, Spanish conquistadors brought such traditions with them to the land we now know as Mexico.
El Día de los Muertos is not a Mexican version of Halloween, though the two holidays do share some traditions, including costumes and parades. The most prominent symbols related to the Day of the Dead are calacas, skeletons, and calaveras, skulls. On the Day of the Dead, it's believed that the border between the spirit world and the real world dissolve.
During this brief period, the souls of the dead awaken and return to the living world to feast, drink, dance, and play music with their loved ones. In turn, the living family members treat the deceased as honored guests in their celebrations. Special foods are prepared in honor of those who have departed, like sugar candy molded into the shape of skulls.
So tonight we invite everyone of any and all faith traditions, of any and all cultures to take part in our celebration. We enter into prayer both in person and virtually, so I ask you to take a moment to quiet yourself in the presence of the one who created us.
We come together this evening to honor those who have died, our loved ones, our family members and friends. We call mind the many migrants who have died crossing the desert, trying to find a new home in the United States. We especially remember the vast number of people throughout the world who have lost their lives due to COVID-19 this year. Many people throughout the world gather in their homes, in cemeteries, and in houses of worship on the Day of the Dead to do the same thing we are doing. Pray and remember the faithful departed. Those we love may have died recently or a while ago, but no matter how long it has been, we still wish to honor them in prayer as we gather in faith. We shall never forget them. They were a special part of our lives while they were here with us on earth. They shall remain the same in our hearts all the days of our lives.
A reading from The Labyrinth of Solitude by the distinguished Mexican poet Octavio Paz. The opposition between life and death was not so absolute to the ancient Mexicans as it is to us. Life extended into death and vice versa. Death was not the natural end of life, but one phase of an infinitive cycle.
Vida, muerte y resurrección eran estadios de un proceso cósmico que se repetía insaciable.
Life had no higher function than to flow into death, its opposite and complement, and death, in turns, was not an end in itself.
El hombre alimentaba con su muerte la voracidad de la vida, siempre insatisfecha.
Mexican death is the mirror of Mexican life.
El desprecio a la muerte no está reñido con el culto que le profesamos.
Death is present in our fiestas, our games, our loves, and our thoughts.
Morir y matar son ideas que pocas veces nos abandonan.
We are seduced by death. We decorate our houses with death's head, sugar candy skulls, and tissue paper skulls, and skeletons strung with fireworks. We eat bread in the shape of bones on the Day of the Dead.
Y nos divierten canciones y chascarrillos en los que ríe la muerte pelona. Pero toda esa fanfarrona familiaridad no nos dispersa de la pregunta que todos nos hacemos.
What is death? ¿Qué es la muerte? Mexican do not have an answer. He praises it, celebrates it, embraces it.
El mexicano no tiene una respuesta. Él la adula, la festeja, la cultiva, se abraza a ella definitivamente y para siempre.
Therefore, our relations with death are intimate.
El culto a la vida, si de verdad es profundo y total, es también culto a la muerte. Ambas son inseparables. Una civilización que niega la muerte acaba por negar la vida.
The cult of life, if it is truly profound and total, is also the cult of death, because the two are inseparable. A civilization that denies death ends by denying life.
As we listen to the Litany of Saints, let us gaze upon this altar, or ofrenda, and remember all those whom we have loved that have died. We invite their spirits to be present with us this evening as we recall the memories of our time together.
Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Cristo, ten piedad de nosotros. Cristo, ten piedad de nosotros. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros. San Miguel, ruega por nosotros. Santos ángeles de Dios, rogad por nosotros. Saint John the Baptist, pray for us. Saint Joseph, pray for us. Saint Peter and Saint Paul, pray for us. San Andrés, ruega por nosotros. San Juan, ruega por nosotros. Santa María Magdalena, ruega por nosotros. Saint Stephen, pray for us. San Juan Diego, ruega por nosotros. All holy men and women, pray for us. Nuestra de provisión, líbranos, Señor, de todo mal. Líbranos, Señor, from everlasting death. Lord, save your people by your death and rising to delight. Lord, save your people. Nope.
Let us continue to remember those who have died, those who lived and loved deeply, who found the source of their inner strength from you, the divine beloved. Let us remember the light-filled ones, who enkindled our spirits with their teaching and the spark of their beliefs.
Recordemos a aquellos llenos de luz que encendieron nuestros espíritus con sus enseñanzas y la chispa de sus creencias.
Let us remember the risk takers, the migrants who faced their fears and took action to escape violence, corruption, and poverty.
Recordemos a los tomadores de riesgos, a los inmigrantes que enfrentaron sus miedos y tomaron acción para escapar de la violencia, la corrupción y la pobreza.
Let us remember the vulnerable ones, who allowed us to care for them, to be with them in their time of need.
Recordemos a los vulnerables que nos permitieron cuidar de ellos, de estar con ellos en su momento de necesidad.
Let us remember the faith-filled ones, who brought us to the Holy One, who led us by their words and example into deeper relationship with God.
Recordemos a aquellos llenos de fe quien nos trajo al Santísimo, a quienes nos guió por miedo de sus palabras y ejemplos a llevar una relación más profunda con Dios.
Let us remember the brave ones, who walk through their struggles with hope, who show us how to trust and have confidence during our times of sorrow and difficulty.
Recordemos a los valientes que atravesaron sus luchas con esperanza, que nos muestran cómo confiar y tener confianza durante nuestros momentos de tristeza y dificultad.
Let us remember the great lovers of life, whose humor and enthusiasm lifted our spirits and brought us joy.
Recordemos a los grandes amantes de la vida, cuyo humor y entusiasmo levantaron nuestros espíritus trayéndonos felicidad.
Let us remember the nurturers, who gave us sustenance by their caring presence.
Recordemos a los cuidadores, que nos dieron sustento a través de sus atenciones y con sus presencias.
God of comfort and sustainer of hope, as we conclude our prayer, we turn to you, whose hearts also ache with grief. With your grace, we will surrender as best we can to the mystery of death and what lies beyond it. In you, we place our trust. Amen.